Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you my November TBR. So if you've been watching my channel at all, you know that in the month of September I had kind of a rocky reading month. I was a bit slumpy and my numbers were definitely down, and then in October I had a better reading month, but I was still kind of not really like at my full game. And this month I was really hoping to really get things going again and get really back on track with reading, and I will say that that has already happened so far this month. I'm filming this on the 8th because I'm a little bit behind with my videos for the month, so it is the 8th today when I'm filming this, and I'm hoping this video will go up tonight. And at this stage that I'm filming this, I have already read 9 books this month, so I'm really happy with that. But let's jump straight in and talk about all of the books that I'm hoping to get through in the month of November. We will, as always, start off with the library books that I need to get through this month. So first off from the library, we have Mad About the Boy by Helen Fielding. This is the 3rd book in the Bridget Jones series. This was actually on my TBR last month and I didn't get to it, and I really need to get to this ASAP because this is now overdue at the library, and I've already incurred 2 fines on it, so I need to read this like ASAP. Next from the library, I have Sisters Red by Jackson Pierce. This is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, like the first book in like an adult fairy tale retelling series that I'm really excited to see like kind of how this is, because I haven't read too many like adult retellings of fairy tales, so I'm really excited to kind of see, as I said, like how this is, and hopefully it's good and that I want to continue with the rest of the series. Next, I have volume 4 of Giant Days that I'm hoping to get through. This is like the next volume that I need to get to, so I'm hoping to get through that. I'm also hoping to read the first volume, like collector's edition of Fruits Basket by Natsuki Takaya. This is about, I believe it's based on something to do with horoscopes or something, and when members of the opposite sex hug, they become like an animal from the Chinese zodiac or something. I don't really know, but I've heard good things about this series generally. I've mentioned before, I'm holding it backwards now, that I'm not sure how I'm going to find this because I don't know how I'll find like contemporary manga, but I'm interested to give this a go. And the final 2 books that I need to get through from the library this month is Plum Lovin' by Janet Evanovich and Lean Mean 13 by Janet Evanovich. This is books 12.5 and 13 in the Stephanie Plum series, and the next books that I need to get to. Hopefully I can get through this entire library pile because I've been letting myself get really behind with my library due dates. As I've mentioned, like every month I've got books that are basically coming overdue. I've incurred so many fines this month. I actually have $10 in outstanding fines at the moment, which is so unusual for me. I don't normally have that. Like I very rarely have to pay a fine to the library, and to have $10 in fines is just ridiculous. So yeah, I really need to get on top of my library books this month. Now onto the books of my physical TBR that I'm hoping to get through in the month of November. This is pretty ambitious probably, but I'm being ambitious because I've already read 9 books this month, as I said, and not only that, but I have a lot of books on my physical bookshelf that I need to get through before the end of the year if I want to meet my goals for like the around the year and 52 books and the books off my, by the first page of my Goodreads to read list. So I need to be ambitious if I'm going to get through all of those books. So fingers crossed. But the first trilogy that I'm hoping to complete the entire trilogy this month is the Winner's Trilogy by Marie Rutkowski. So we have The Winner's Curse, The Winner's Crime, and The Winner's Kiss. And so I'm hoping to get through this entire trilogy. This is a young adult fantasy trilogy about a main character, Kestrel. She's a girl, and in this fantasy world, by the age of 20, I think it is, you either need to be married or join the military. You either need to be married and making babies for the nation or killing the nation's enemies, basically, by being a soldier. So she is one day in the market and she ends up buying a slave at like a slave auction, and the story kind of kicks off from there. And yeah, I'm really excited to read this entire trilogy, hopefully this month. And the next thing that I'm hoping to read off my physical TBR is also an entire trilogy, and that is the ACOTAR trilogy by Sarah J Maas. So we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, and A Court of Wings and Ruin. I've never read any Sarah J Maas, so I would love to get through this entire trilogy because people absolutely rave about this. This is extra ambitious because not really the first book, but these second two are huge. Like, how many pages are these? Yeah, like, Akamath is like over 600 pages and Aka War is almost 700 pages. So, like, to get through both of those trilogies this month is maybe a little too ambitious, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Next, we'll move on to the ebooks that I'm hoping to get through in the month of November. So I have 2 NetGalley books that I'm hoping to read. The first of those is If There's No Tomorrow by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is her most recent publication, and it is a YA story about a girl who has basically been in love with her best friend, her male best friend, for like forever, and she's going into her senior year, and the synopsis just kind of says that then this a certain event or something happens and everything changes. And yeah, so I don't know, I have been a fan of Jennifer L. Armentrout. I think her books are like good, not great. So I've enjoyed her Obsidian, like the Lux series, and I also read The Problem with Forever, which was her release last year, which didn't get great reviews, but I personally actually really enjoyed, so hopefully this is another good one. And the second book that I have from NetGalley is called Nothing by Annie Barrows. This is another young adult contemporary, and this one is about 2 girls, 2 best friends, Charlotte and Frankie, and they are just your ordinary typical girls apparently who, you know, nothing ever like exciting happens to. They're not, you know, they don't face aliens or anything like they read about in books basically. And then I think it's in their sophomore year of high school, and one of them, I can't remember which one it is, decides to write everything down that happens that year to prove that nothing ever happens in their lives and that character development and all of that in real life is not a thing. And I presume that maybe life is going to start to have some happenings going on and it's going to be about that. So it just sounded really interesting, and hopefully it's an enjoyable young adult contemporary. I think it may be a little bit of a younger one because I think the main characters are only like 15. A lot of the YA that I tend to lean towards, even though I do enjoy YA, is about people in like their senior year of high school, like older teens, because I'm almost 30, but I generally enjoy YA, so hopefully this is an enjoyable YA contemporary. And the other ebook that I'm hoping to get to in the month of November is Owning It by Leah Marie Brown. This is one that I've got on my Kindle. It's the 4th book in the It Girls series, I think it's called, and I'm not even really too sure what this one's about or how it is connected, because this is more like a companion. Well, the first 2 books were kind of more like direct sequels, but then the 3rd book was about like a side character, and I'm not sure how this book is actually connected, but it is the 4th book in the series, and it was only a couple of dollars on Amazon, and I really enjoyed the first 2 books. They're really like light-hearted, humorous, chick lit type books, so I purchased this, and I am hoping to read this 4th book, but I couldn't really tell you what it's about. Finally, onto the audiobooks that I'm hoping to get through in the month of November. So I am hoping to complete the entire Castles Ever After series by Tessa Dare. I have already listened to a couple of these, and I read the first book back in October, and I may also listen to her Spindle Cove series. Maybe we'll see how burnt out I get on kind of the like romance genre, because I used to be hugely into romance novels. It was like all I read, but I'm not as into it these days, but I do still enjoy the occasional romance novel, and these are really good romance novels, and so I will maybe continue into the Spindle Cove series as well, but I'm not too sure at this point. Another book that I have on hold from my library on my Overdrive app is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, and I am next in line to get that one, so I should hopefully get to listen to that this month. This is a young adult novel about 2 boys, I believe, so it's set in like a world, like it's very similar to our world, except that on the day that you're going to die, you receive a phone call letting you know that you're going to die that day. And I believe that there's this app that you can connect with other people who are also going to die on that day, and it's about these 2 boys who are both set to die that day, who meet up on basically the last day of their life. Adam Silvera is a very popular author. Now he's had a couple of releases, like I think this is his 3rd book. I haven't read anything by him, but people rave about his books, and my library is doing so much better lately about getting like newer release young adult novels on audio. So as soon as I saw this, I put it on hold, and I'm hoping to read this, and if I really like it, I probably will go back and read his previous releases, More Happy Than Not, and I can't remember what the other one is off the top of my head, but I will probably read his other releases if this one proves to be a good read. And the final audiobook and the final book in general that I'm hoping to complete in the month of November is My Absolute Darling by Gabriel Talent. So this is another new release that my library had on Overdrive, and I saw it, and so I requested I'm next in line for this one as well. So it's another one that I should get to this month. The synopsis is a bit confusing to me. Like, I'm not 100% sure what this is about. I believe it's about a teenage girl who, I don't think it's young adult though, I think it's adult from what I know, and she like lives in the middle of the woods, like in the middle of nowhere with her father, and they like kind of live, I think, just the two of them, and her father doesn't let her interact with anyone or in any way. I'm not sure if it's just the two of them or if they're like in a cult or something, or if it is just the two of them, and the only interaction she ever has with other people is when she goes to school. And then I think that she meets a boy at school who I presume there's going to be maybe it is young adult. Is this young adult? Let me look. It is young adult. I lied. It is young adult. So I presume maybe there's going to be a romance between her and this boy from her school, and it's about her like living her life and trying to get out from her father, who's oppressive when they live in the middle of the woods. I'm not 100% clear on exactly what's going to happen in this, but it's a release that's got a bit of buzz around it, and I actually think this might be nominated in the Goodreads Choice Awards. But anyway, I saw it and it was a really recent release from my library, as I've mentioned, didn't previously. Hopefully that's changing, get a whole lot of, so I did request it, and hopefully I read it and enjoy it. So those are the books that I'm hoping to read in the month of November. I would love to chat in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, if you have any thoughts on the books that you're planning to get to in November. I'm really hoping that my November reading month, like as I said, so far, so good. Like I said, I've read one more book this month than there are days in the month. So if I can keep on that kind of track, I should hopefully be able to keep on track with my goals. But I've got some really big books here, so I'm just hoping I can do it. But I'd love to chat in the comments down below. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. But that's all I've got for this video today. Bye, guys.